this whole record, for me, it didn't really make sense. Music wasn't really flowing up until I went back to Australia and kind of found my palace, which is like, just this property, just simple existence. I moved to the countryside and, started my own vegetable patch, growing my own vegetables. My dog was there, had family, and anyway, the music just kind of flowed and things started to make sense. I felt very grounded, and that's when everything started to click and make sense, and this record came about. So that's why it's got Palaces. Some of the stuff was done in person, but most of it was remote. The OK Lou track, she was in Paris, and we just I just sent her some ideas. She sent me some stuff back. Then we got on the phone, and I've never actually met her face to face. So a bunch of the songs were done remote, which was kind of different. It's usually I like to work with artists one-on-one, but it actually, because everyone was in isolation or at home, it was actually quite productive because people were just doing all, and all that touring had been cancelled. So you could kind of send ideas and people would get back to you, and sometimes when doing that it's tough to get things done, but I actually didn't mind the process. I kind of work alone, or have worked alone, just making music in a studio for a long time. So it was it was cool. I kind of treated the vocals a little more like samples, rather than doing songwriting and I was feeling a little stuck creatively. I think a lot of other people felt the same way with all the kind of COVID stuff going on, but also just after being away from home for so long, I feel like LA can kind of, it's not as wholesome as Australia, let's put it that way. And I felt like I wasn't making the music that I wanted to make so much. I just wasn't happy with what I was doing as much, and going back during the pandemic was kind of the best thing ever for my mental health. I grew up in Sydney, and I moved back to Australia and kind of started a new life in Australia. So new friends, and I moved in. The family that I had it before me, they moved there, and it was just grazing land for cattle, and they planted everything. So there's a couple macadamia farms on my street. It's got a little creek running through it. Got a quad bike, ride around on that. Bought some Blundstones, so it's real. Farm life's happening. But yeah, it's been amazing, and just being close to family and having this space. I built a studio there in the shed, and it's just the space really. It's just being able to slow down has been opened up more room for creative endeavors. Earlier on, after the first record was kind of, with each release, there's videos and, artwork and stuff. And so I was sending in references of things that I liked. And I realized that I was just sending in a whole lot of Jonathan Zawada works, unknowingly. I'd just been sending stuff, and someone at the label was like, hey, I'm pretty sure most of this stuff that you sent me is Jonathan Zawada. He's Australian. We should just contact him. So we reached out to him, and he was open to doing a cover for Skin, which was from 2016. And then we just kind of hung out and got along really well, and creatively really gelled. Kind of always just on the same level with stuff. It's just a really amazing creative partnership, and then ever since then we've kind of gotten more involved, and we've worked more and more together, and it was nice to have some time to actually really just hang out and come up with cool ideas and this and that, and it's just time to do things right. And I feel like with this new cycle, a lot of the visuals and stuff, I'm more happy with it than ever. I moved quite close to Jonathan, and we would spend a lot of time together, and we were really fascinated by just like the natural world around us, especially all the wild animals and the birds especially. I started making a bunch of field recordings, and Jonathan started making these wild, all native Australian birds. And yeah, lots of like field recordings from around my house made their way into the project. Yeah, I mean, this album is probably one of the hardest one. I mean, it's not chill. Let's put it that way. I thought like using the imagery of the birds and like the recordings, the field recordings, and coming up with this like wild narrative felt like it kind of like glued the project together. Yeah, I feel like a lot of like what I do can be quite cold with all the synthesizers and stuff. So it was really cool to kind of just make some lo-fi audio recordings on my phone and put them in there. It kind of gave it a sense, like a warmth that I didn't feel like I had prior. I'm just excited to play it out, you know? Like I'm just excited to, I feel like it will be really satisfying to play these songs to a big audience on big speakers, you know, like in a festival context, or it's just yeah, I'm excited to do that.